Your tomb is empty now. You have been asleep inside a life that was never yours. You have been wearing a name that didn't fit. You have been playing small in a story that was written for someone else. And deep inside, beneath every doubt, beneath every fear, beneath every moment you told yourself you were too much or not enough, something has been waiting. It has been waiting a long time. There is a specific kind of person who finds this video. Not everyone, not most people, a rare kind. The kind who feels things too deeply and can't explain why. The kind who has always sensed they were meant for something larger, but couldn't name it. The kind who has walked through rooms full of people and still felt completely alone, not because they were broken, but because they were different. That's you. And today, not tomorrow, not someday, today is the moment the veil gets pulled back. Because what you are about to hear isn't motivation. It isn't a pep talk. It isn't someone telling you to believe in yourself. What you are about to receive is a confirmation, a remembering, a recognition of something that has always been true about you, but was buried under years of other people's definitions. You are not who they told you you were. You never were. And in the next few minutes, everything is going to shift. The version of you that walks away from this video will not be the same as the one who clicked play. Brace yourself. This is not the beginning of something new. This is you finally coming home. If you feel this message was meant for you, and you know it was, type "chosen" in the comments right now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. You were led here for a reason. Part 1. The wound that marked you. There was a moment it happened. You may not remember the exact day, but somewhere along the way, someone, a parent, a teacher, a friend, a world, handed you a smaller version of yourself and said this is who you are, and you believed them. Of course you did. You were young. You were learning. You were building a self out of whatever materials were available. And the materials they gave you were fear, comparison, limitation, the quiet message that you needed to shrink to be loved. So you did. You became an expert at making yourself smaller. You learned to silence the voice inside that said more. You learned to explain away your gifts as accidents. You learned to apologize for taking up space. But here is what they never told you. The wound was not a punishment, it was a marker. Every chosen one has one. Every person who is meant to do something rare, something real, something that changes the frequency of the world. They all carry a wound from the time they were told they weren't enough. Because the very things that make you powerful are the same things that made ordinary systems uncomfortable. Your sensitivity was too sharp for numb rooms. Your vision was too wide for narrow minds. Your depth was too vast for shallow waters. So they called it a problem, and you believed them. But look closer. Look at the specific nature of your wound. What were you told you were too much of? Too emotional? Too intense? Too idealistic? Too different? Too quiet? Too loud? That exact thing, that thing they tried to cut out of you, is your gift. It always was. The sculptor chips away everything that isn't the statue. Life chipped away everything that wasn't the real you. The pain wasn't random. It was precise. It was shaping something. You are not damaged goods. You are a blade that has been forged in fire, and you are only now beginning to understand what you were made to cut through. The wound marked you. It didn't define you. There is a difference, and that difference is everything.
Part 2. The signs you ignored. You have felt it before. In the middle of an ordinary Tuesday, in the silence just after a storm, in that strange moment when you look in the mirror and feel for just a second like you are looking at someone you almost recognize. Those were not accidents. Those were signals. You have always had them, the knowing that arrived before the information, the pull towards certain people, certain places, certain ideas that you couldn't logically justify. The recurring feeling that your life was building towards something, even during the years when everything looked like it was falling apart. especially during those years. Because here is the truth about chosen people. Their paths do not look chosen from the outside. They look broken. They look delayed. They look like a series of wrong turns and closed doors and beautiful things that fell apart too soon. From the outside, the chosen path looks like failure. But from the inside, if you are honest, you know. Every closed door protected you from the wrong room. Every loss made space for something that actually belonged. Every person who left was carrying an energy that would have kept you small. Every breakdown was a breakthrough, wearing a disguise too heavy for you to see through at the time. Look back at your life now, not with the eyes of pain. Look with the eyes of pattern. See how everything that hurt you also directed you. See how every ending was a corridor. See how you are not standing in the wreckage. You were standing at the destination. You didn't arrive here by accident. You were navigated here. And the signs were always there. You just needed the language to read them. You needed to stop calling your sensitivity a weakness long enough to understand that it was your navigation system. Your feelings weren't lies. They were maps. The people who are meant to shift the world don't walk straight lines. They spiral, they descend, they get lost in the dark, and then they bring back light that people who never descended could never have found. You went into the dark. Now, look at what you're carrying. Part 3. Who you actually are. Stop for a moment. Just breathe. Because what comes next is not something to rush through. This is the part they don't say out loud. This is the part that gets buried under productivity content and hustle culture and everyone telling you to optimize your morning routine. Nobody tells you who you actually are. So let this be that moment. You are not your trauma. You are not your history. You are not the sum of your failures or the collection of things people said about you when they were afraid of your light. You are not your job title. You are not your bank account. You are not the version of yourself that shrinks in difficult rooms. You are something far older than all of that. There is an intelligence inside you that predates your name. There is a knowing inside you that has survived every identity you've tried on and discarded. There is a presence inside you that has watched every version of you come and go, and it has never once been afraid. That presence is the real you, and it is not small, it is not broken, it is not ordinary. It is the part of you that knows things before they happen, the part that feels the weight of a room before anyone speaks, the part that sees people, really sees them, in ways they cannot even see themselves, the part that cannot be comfortable with comfortable lies, the part that keeps asking deeper questions, even when the surface answers would be so much easier. That is not a burden. That is a calling. The chosen ones are not chosen because they are perfect. They are chosen because they are willing to feel everything fully, willing to keep going when going makes no sense, willing to carry something larger than themselves because something inside them refuses to put it down. You have been carrying it your whole life. You didn't know what it was, but you never put it down. That is who you are. Not the doubting, not the fear, not the small voice that says you're not ready. The one who carried it anyway. That's you. That has always been you.
Part 4. The life that's waiting. Now comes the part that changes everything. Because knowing who you are is only the beginning. The question is, what happens now? What does a chosen one actually do with this confirmation? How does this awareness translate into a life that looks and feels different from the inside? Here is the answer. You stop apologizing. Not loudly, not dramatically. You simply stop. You stop apologizing for your intensity. You stop softening your truth for people who are not ready for it. You stop waiting for permission from voices that were never qualified to give it. You stop performing smallness to make mediocrity feel comfortable in your presence. That stops today, right now. And you start listening, really listening, to the direction that has been pulling you this entire time, the thing you keep returning to when nobody is watching, the idea that won't leave you alone no matter how many times you tell it to be practical, the gift you were given that you keep treating like a hobby when it is actually your purpose. That thing is not a distraction. That thing is the mission. The life that is waiting for you does not look like the life you were told to want. It is not safe in the conventional sense. It will ask more of you than comfort ever could. It will require you to stand in rooms where no one looks like you and speak with a voice that has never been there before. But it will feel like breathing for the first time. Because you were not built for the small life. You were not built for the beige existence of checking boxes and quietly enduring. You were built for depth, for meaning, for impact that echoes beyond the length of your days. The life that is waiting for you already knows your name. It has been holding your place. All that is required, the only thing that has ever been required, is that you finally show up as the person you actually are. Not the edited version, not the approved version, the real one, the one who just woke up. That life is not a dream, it is a door, and it is open. Your tomb is empty now. Every story that held you down, it's done. Every label they placed on you, dissolved. Every version of yourself you outgrew, released. Every lie you believed about your worth, your purpose, your power, gone. What remains is the truth. And the truth is this: you were never lost. You were becoming. The entire journey, every dark night, every wrong turn, every season of silence, it was not a mistake. It was the making of someone who could not be built any other way. You cannot forge a blade in comfort. You cannot build a lighthouse on still water. You had to go through what you went through because the work you are here to do requires someone who has been through it. That someone is you. So walk out now. Walk out of the tomb of who they told you you were. Walk out of the version of your life that was too small for what you carry. Walk out of the apology. Walk out of the waiting. You have been confirmed. Not by a world that often mistakes loudness for greatness, confirmed by something deeper, by the patterns of your life, by the gifts you couldn't explain, by the calling you couldn't silence, by the fact that you are still here, still asking, still searching, still carrying something you cannot put down. That is the confirmation. That is the sign. You are the one. You always were. If this reached something real inside you, subscribe. Stay close. What's coming next will go even deeper. You didn't find this channel by accident.